This is Joe Pugh for IFLTV. Delighted to be joined by the Wish Neymar after yesterday. After yesterday, getting in between the face-off. Is that your first face-off?
Why'd you do me like that? The Wish Neymar. Very good. Yeah, it was my first face-off standing between the fighters. It was interesting because Frank couldn't come. Frank's back's like in all sorts of problems, and he rang me in the morning saying, "Can you just stand in between them, make sure it doesn't kick off?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Just make sure like it's all looked after." And I thought, what am I gonna do if it kicks off between Liam Davis and SHEERAZ Massud? What is SAHNI gonna do to stop that? But lo and behold, I was a deterrent. They didn't kick off probably because they didn't want me to flex. That's what happened, right? But yeah, I didn't know where to look, to be honest, mate. First time I've done it, I was like just looking about. But I don't know if it's something I'm looking to really do again. I think it was a bit of an emergency move, but we moved.
Listen, if you get a call from Frank, you've got to do it, mate.
What am I going to say? No, Frank, no. But yeah, interesting. It was interesting. It's a good fight, isn't it, this one?
Look, it is a great fight. Back in Birmingham, which is becoming a real kind of hotbed for boxing at the minute. A real resurgence over the last 12 months with both Queensbury and Matchroom doing very big shows. And then again, Matchroom on the 30th of November with Yafai and Edwards. But this one is absolutely fantastic. A real kind of trade fight for the IBO world title between Liam Davis and SHEERAZ Massud with a stacked card underneath.
Yeah, come on. I mean, look, do I even need to say anything? Because you just said it all there. That's brilliant. Joe, I just love the energy you put into your questions. I'm watching you as you're answering. This is Joe, by the way, if I may. And this is a big fight coming up. Yeah. Like this is what you don't see off camera. It's like, Liam Davis, SHEERAZ Massud. It's a real big one. You're so funny at interviewing, but very good at it as well. Go on, Karen.
Thank you. Yeah. So can we go through the card?
Yeah. Look, these fellas, Liam Davis, SHEERAZ Massud, they don't like each other. And there's hostility between the teams as well. There's people shouting things out, people DMing Liam Davis, people DMing members of Liam Davis's family. It's not nice. And Liam Davis he goes into every fight like the whole world's against him, right? It's me against the world. That's what Liam Davis is. And he's got that mentality. He's got such a big chip on his shoulder, which has helped him succeed because he just wants to keep proving people wrong. Even though he's the favourite in this, in his head, everyone's against him, everyone thinks he's rubbish, and everyone wants him to fail. That's his mindset, and that has helped him to succeed. And SHEERAZ Massud, he hasn't had it easy as well, by the way. He's got his own story, and he's got his route leading to Saturday night. 2 unbeaten guys. It's just such a good fight. It's the IBO world title, as you mentioned, and listen, the only reason it's the IBO and not one of the other 4 is because there's a fella in Japan called Naoya Inoue who's just holding on to all them belts. You can't tell me that these guys, Davis and Massud, aren't world class and wouldn't be holding one of those other belts if they became available.
Can you kind of repeat what you told me yesterday about Liam Davis and Naoya Inoue?
Listen, I think it's obvious, not just to me, not just to you, but to any boxing fan around the world. Naoya Inoue is, of course, he's the king. Right, I'll get that, you get that. It just so happens Liam Davis is the ace. I wish I delivered that better.
No, it was good. I feel like it sounds better like on type on Twitter.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
You see my drafts for Twitter. Like if Liam Davis comes through SHEERAZ, mate, Inoue's going to be in my mentions, yeah? Yeah, I know you're fighting a good man. Come and fight a bad man. Yeah, all of that sort of stuff because he's fighting good men, isn't he? But we'll see. He's got to beat SHEERAZ Massud first.
Right, I want to ask you about the re-signings, the extensions from Queensbury. These names, like, realistically, they are the faces of the future of Queensbury. The likes of Nick Wilhelms, SHEERAZ, already faces, but those main signings, it's just great to get them signed on pen and paper, ready to go for the next 3 years.
Look at it, and you just look at those faces and you just think, wow, they're all really, really good. That was a big statement of intent from Frank, from Queensbury. Dubois has also done his deal. I think that happened quite recently. Moses was one of the faces on there. It's a great time to be part of Queensbury and for British boxing right now. And if you look at those faces, like Hamza SHEERAZ, like where did Frank find Hamza SHEERAZ? Where did that come from? He wasn't Team GB. He wasn't like this decorated standout amateur. Finds this talent, or this talent gets brought to him, but he knows what to do with it, and he nurtures it and makes them like he'll be a world champion soon. That's inevitable. Nick Ball has been nurtured. He's been turned into a world champion. Kukachi came to Frank, wasn't a world champion, now is a world champion. These things are happening. Moses Itauma, like he could be the future of boxing. He's got a serious fight coming up. And Liam Davies, like, I think it's all just, it's great. And don't forget Sam Noakes as well. We're in such a good place right now. It's very exciting.
Yes, I want to ask you about kind of the heavyweight division and where we stand, because it feels like, certainly from the Daniel Dubois side, all a little bit uncertain at the minute. I think straight after we was led to believe that we'd be going straight into the Anthony Joshua fight, there's no doubt over that. Names like Fabio Wardley suggested on Sky a couple of days ago, Joseph Parker being suggested. What do you think happens in February for Daniel Dubois?
I think whatever happens, like, because Frank, I think he's gone on record now saying he doesn't think it's going to be Anthony Joshua next. So what that means is, because he's the world champion, he has to go down the top 15 and find someone. If you look at that top 15, there's not like that's a bit of a gimme. Oh, you can go and bowl him over. There's not really many of them knocking about. So it feels like his next fight for Daniel Dubois is going to be a serious fight, a proper fight. But now's the time to do it. He's got so much momentum. He's just taking proper fights, and when he takes them, he tends to win them. Look at how he dealt with Miller. Look at how he dealt with Hrgovic, and look at how he dealt with Anthony Joshua. That's what happened in there. I think he's on top of his game right now. So let's see. It's anyone on the other side is going to be in for a tough night. It's going to take some man to rip the IBF world title from Daniel Dubois right now.
Excluding Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, does Daniel Dubois go in as favourite to every other fight?
I think so. I think he's number 3 in the world, and I feel like Joe Parker is probably number 4. Zhang's knocking about as well. Yeah, I guess the question is he favourite against Parker? And I feel like he would be a marginal favourite. I don't think there'd be an awful lot in it, though. That would be a very interesting fight. Parker's form is incredible. Parker, beating Wilder, beating Zhang, like this is great form. So I'd make Dubois a slight favourite, but I don't think there'd be much in it.
Last thing, kind of a week has passed since the Usyk Fury 2 press conference. You spoke to Tyson Fury, we spoke to Tyson Fury. How do you think he looked? How do you think he spoke? And can you tell much from it going in to the 21st of December?
I think we got, at that presser, we got Tyson Fury and not the Gypsy King. This is what I'll always refer to. It just depends who you get. So when he first had a press conference with Alexander Usyk, we remember it, I was on the table watching him call Usyk a midget, a dosser, and all of this kind of stuff, and it was very entertaining. But I don't think he'll ever do that again. It seems to now, I think he's always respected Usyk, but now there's the respect that you get of having gone 12 rounds with a guy and seeing that he's really, really good. He's got that respect. So we're just going to see Tyson in the build-up. And I think he's going to be raw and honest. I don't think he's going to be particularly braggadocious this time. He seems very focused and locked in. He doesn't sound like he's going to make an awful lot of changes. There was talk about, come in bigger, come in heavier, lean on him, use your size, that's what you should have done. But actually where he had success in the fight wasn't about using his size, wasn't leaning, it was just boxing. It's what he's good at, combination punches from range. And that's where he was doing really well against Usyk. In his head, do that again, stop the showboating, you win the fight. Don't get clipped in round 9, you win the fight. It was very close the first time. So it's going to be interesting because he's never bounced back from a loss before. What does this Tyson look like? We won't know till we hear ding ding.
Well, you can't predict what happens tomorrow in boxing, let alone next year. But we could be looking at, kind of, if all facets fall into place, a fight between Tyson Fury and Daniel Dubois, which would be next level, which could be the Fury-Joshua fight we never got or haven't got yet. It could reach that level, right?
Could be really awkward as well for Queensbury.
You're going to be awkward at some stage because you've got a lot of heavyweights.
That is it's one of the things that's happening now. Queensbury is representing a lot of the best heavyweights in the world, and there will of course be clamour from fans and from everyone, from the fighters, to just fight each other. Tyson Fury, Daniel Dubois, oh my God, do I want to see it? I think I want to see it. I don't know if I want to see it. I probably want to see it. It's a hell of a fight, but business at hand. Fury's got to get past Usyk. Dubois got to beat whoever he's going to beat. Yeah, very, very interesting fight. I like the way you framed it as, could it be the Fury Joshua that never happened? It's a dangerous fight for both guys.
Certainly is. Maybe we'll find out next year. Dev, more pressingly, we'll find out what happens between Liam Davies and Shabazz Masoud. I'll speak to you tomorrow, mate. Thank you very much.
See you there, Jim.